It's Taco Tuesday, so we'll be making corn tortillas. My son will be doing much of the work as he's learning to do these. You're going to need masa harina, which is an instant corn flour that is used to make tortillas and tamales. You can find it in the Mexican markets or the Mexican area in your grocery store, and I believe Bob's Red Mill also carries some. So you're going to take 2 cups of the masa harina, and you're going to add a teaspoon of salt. Now, if you don't like things as salty, you can go down to half a teaspoon. Try adding half a teaspoon, mixing it together, and tasting a little bit of it, and see what you think. So what you need to do is you need to incorporate the salt into the flour really well. Okay, you want to make sure that it's very well distributed before you proceed with adding the water. Now you're going to need 1.5 to 2 cups of warm tap water, and he's going to do this himself at first, and you just start adding it slowly as you mix it in. Okay, and if you're doing it by yourself, like I said, we have a little trivet down here. Those silicone trivets are really nice to stop your bowl from moving around as you're trying to stir, but he thought it would be easier if I came and helped. So I poured the water and he stirred, and you can see I first put in about half a cup of water and then slowly start adding it little by little. Okay, and you want to keep doing this until you get to where you've added about 1.5 cups of that water, and just keep mixing. And if it still needs to be more moist, keep adding about a tablespoon at a time. We ended up using about 1 3/4 cups. And what you keep doing is just keep mixing it together until it's like a soft Play-Doh. Like, think Play-Doh that got warmed up and got really soft and squishy. You can see how it's squishing through his hands, but not sticking to it. And if you press your hand in, you can see my 3 finger marks. And you know it should be ready, because it's not sticking, it's not falling apart, and it's leaving that, and it's nice and soft and smooth. Okay, so he's going to knead it a few more times. This took maybe 5 minutes to stir together at the most. As you get more experience, you can get it to come together a lot faster, 2 to 3 minutes tops. And so then you just want to let it set, covered with a damp paper towel, for about 10 minutes. Now we're making street taco size, which is about 4 inches. So that's 2 tablespoons of your dough. We like to use a cookie scoop because it keeps things consistent, but you don't have to. Now you're going to put it between 2 pieces of parchment or wax paper, or even 2 pieces of plastic wrap or a gallon-sized bag cut in half. And we're showing you with a glass pan how you can press it, not needing a tortilla press. And the reason we're using a glass is so that you can see how it presses. So you can use a glass pan or a glass pie pan if you like, so you can see what's happening. And part of why you want to see too is because you want to make sure you don't get it too thin, because as you're about to see, when they get too thin or if it's too moist, they will start to tear. And as you can see, he put it down and it ripped. Don't panic. Just set yourself up, roll it back into a ball. Rolling it into a ball does help, which he did not do initially. And so then he will repress it, and you can see it'll turn out fine. I like to flatten a little with my fingers first before topping it with the other parchment, but to each their own. And if you use the bottom of a pan that has an insignia, you decorate your tortilla at the same time. See, he's just kind of giving it even pressure. Don't rock back and forth like he just did. Okay? And then you want to set that aside. We're going to get that out of the way and just use a plate from now on. And you can turn it out and put it on the tray lined with parchment paper. And what I like to do with the parchment paper on the tray is tear it into pieces, just because then it's easier to pull up just part of it to get the dough up to put in your pan. Or you can take it right off of here where he smashed it and put it directly in the pan. Just depends on how you like to do it. Okay, so you just go through and keep making your tortillas. Don't panic if they tear. Just re-roll them and repress. Like I said, you can use parchment, plastic wrap, wax paper, whatever you like. Those pieces of parchment are a little on the large side. We ended up cutting them in half. because he was having a little trouble with it. And, you know, they don't have to be exactly perfect, right? We actually like the imperfectness of them sometimes. So then what you want to do is you want to get either a cast iron or a griddle or a big pan that conducts heat really well and put it on high heat and get it nice and smoky. So you can see the heat coming off of it. And then turn it down just a smidge. And you want to put in your tortillas and then do 1 minute on each side. You'll get little brown flecks, you'll see. And if it tore a little when you put it down, you can punch it together very lightly. Okay? And when you flip it over, the last maybe 20 seconds, just kind of tap it with your spatula, and it will start to see it puffs up on the second side. There you go. When it does that, you know you got it right. And then you're just going to take it out of the pan, and we keep them in a warm, clean towel to keep them nice and fresh. So here's our towel full of those beautiful tortillas. I'm going to save those parchments in case I kind of want to separate some of the tortillas. Sometimes if we make a lot at a time, you can freeze them. Okay, now look at that beautiful tortilla. Perfect. The steam's still coming off of it, and it's ready to eat. You don't need to cook it or fry it if you don't like, but you can fry them if you prefer to have fried tortilla shells for your tacos. We're ready for dinner now. Aren't they gorgeous? Yeah. So now we filled it with meat. I went real basic with ground turkey, a little purple onion, cilantro. We like tomato, so I put some tomato on there too. That's something that I've been craving a lot lately. And then for a little bit of spice, I added a little bit of green salsa. Fill it with whatever you like. Put some melted butter on it and eat it just like that. They're amazing. Look at those tacos. Happy Taco Tuesday. Enjoy.